This is the Jocko Underground podcast, number 136. Sitting here with Echo Charles.
Yes, sir.
The first time I saw Theo Vaughn was after, you remember when Conor McGregor hucked that hand truck at the bus with Khabib's crew in it?
Yeah,
right?
I remember that.
So that came out and that happened, and Theo Vaughn made a video. And I didn't know who Theo Vaughn was. I hadn't seen him before, but it was a 1 minute video that he made. And he basically was saying that everyone's freaking out right now because Conor McGregor threw a hand truck at this bus. Mm-hmm. And then he says, but the truth is, everyone's freaking out, but bus things been happening around Greyhounds and these buses forever. This is just the way it goes, and no one really cares because no one cares in general. Why are we caring right now? Because everything's happens, and he lists off the things that happen at a Greyhound bus. Violence. I believe he says selling grams and copping grams. Wi-Fi down, he says. The big one was adults drinking Similac, which I know I have 4 kids, but I didn't know what Similac was. Yeah. I had to look it up. It's Pedialyte, basically. It's like a kid's drink of some kind. Yeah, but I guess sometimes maybe some drug addicts, they need food or something or hydration, so they drink Similac. Okay. Get them some hydrate, I guess, if we wanted to. So he goes off on this thing, missing people, showing up. And he says, it's never been an issue before, but now we're pretending like it's a big issue. And then he says, if you're going to ride a bus, you got to recognize that bus shit is going to happen. And then he says, free Conor. So it's funny, right? Yeah. I got a kick out of it. And of course, he does it much funnier. But it's actually a very good thing to remember in life. And it's surprising how often people forget that bus shit is going to happen. And when I say bus shit, I don't just mean bus. If you get involved in certain arenas of life, some things can happen in those arenas that we can't pretend to be surprised when they happen. For example, if you go out drinking tonight and you drink from, let's say, 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and you drink until 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you happen to get into a fight, rolled up, knocked out, arrested, and you get surprised by that, guess what? If you start training jiu-jitsu and you're training jiu-jitsu all the time, and then you get your elbow popped and you're in a state of shock, like, I can't believe this happened. If you go into business, if you do a startup, and then you look forward 6 months down the road and you're real tight and lean on money, maybe you see the end is nigh, or you can't buy the things you want to buy because you don't have the money that you thought you were going to have because the business didn't go the way you expected, and you see your bank account emptying out, and now you're surprised by that. And we kind of talked about this the other day with one of our podcast guests. You go to war. This is a serious one. You go to war, and then you're surprised when people get killed. So war, if you go drinking shit is going to happen. If you go train jiu-jitsu shit is going to happen. If you go into business shit is going to happen. And if you go to war shit's going to happen. So, and by shit, I mean the bad stuff, right? Because there's all kinds of fun stuff that happens when you go out drinking, right? You go to the pub, you go to the bar, you go to meet the girls, all that's all fun. But the shit's going to happen too. Same thing with jiu-jitsu. Look how much fun comes from jiu-jitsu. All kinds of fun. All kinds of conditioning, all kinds of being in good shape, all kinds of confidence, all kinds of meeting people. That's all good, but some shit's going to happen too. Business, hey, it's cool. You create jobs, you build something, you grow something. Like, there's a lot of benefits that can come from that. A lot of positive can come from that. Some shit's going to happen too. You have to fire somebody. Somebody's going to embezzle from you. Like, some business shit is going to happen. And war. Again, if you go to war as a nation, some war shit is going to happen. So good things are going to happen in life. But when you go voluntarily into just about any arena, it should come as no surprise that some bust shit is going to happen too. So be ready for it.
Yeah, that Theo Von's a master at that, where, because it was technically a little bit beside the point, but so he'll point out something that's kind of adjacent with the incident and make a joke about it, and then your brain attaches it, and you realize what he's talking about. It's actually really funny. He does it super good. Yeah.
It is weird though. I mean, how many times in your life has someone come to you with a surprised attitude?
Yeah, every single yeah. It is so common, and I'm not talking trash because let's face it, it'll happen to me too. Where I'll be
all of us, I guess.
I'm like, if you put it this way, if you remember that in your head when things do happen, you're not caught off guard. It's kind of like you can deal with it a lot easier in the moment. You know,
and especially at a minimum, it should prevent you from going and telling your friend, your bro, your parents, your coworker.
Yep.
Like, I can't believe we made this investment and we're losing money. It's like, no, actually, you know what? Hey, we made an investment. We knew what the risks were. It ended up on the bad end of the risk.
Very believable, yeah.
And that's possible. Yep. There's a whole calculus when it comes to taking risk. And again, this is reminding me of the conversation we had with one of our podcast guests, Tom Murphy. And I was just kind of talking about when you're assessing war, for instance. Mm. And it's like we look at, okay, what are the pros and cons? And in the pros, we put every pro possible. Like, oh my gosh, we'll be able to free these people and create coalitions and, we'd put all the positives over here.
Yeah.
And in the negatives, we just put the most positive negatives only.
Yeah.
When what we should do, which is way more realistic, is stack up every bad thing that could happen and then the bad things that could devolve from those bad. That is a little excerpt of what we are doing on the Jocko Underground podcast. So if you want to continue to listen, go to JockoUnderground.com and subscribe. And we're doing this to mitigate our reliance on external platforms so we are not subject to their control. And we're doing it so we can give you more control, more interaction, more direct connections, better communications with us, strengthen this legion of troopers that are in the game with us. So thank you. It's JockoUnderground.com. It costs $8.18 a month. And if you can't afford to support us, we can still support you. Just email assistance@JockoUnderground.com and we'll get you taken care of. Until then, we will see you mobilized underground.